Welcome, everybody, to the YourMate podcast, YourMate in Africa. I am joined by my homie, my best friend, one of my best friends in the whole world, Akwesi. How you doing, my man?
What's good, my man? How are you?
I cannot complain, dude. Look at me, big smile on my face. How can I not be happy? How
Look
can I
at
not
that
be happy?
hat.
Yeah, the swag, bro.
I love a fedora, man.
Me too. Actually, you reinvigorated my love of fedoras. I used to wear them all the time. And then when I first met you, you were always wearing these dope fedoras. And I was
Always.
just like, I have to jack that. I'm just gonna subtly steal that away from Akwesi. Just that's gonna be my style now.
It suits you, man. It really
I
does.
appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. It distracts people from my bald ass head.
Don't worry, I don't have anything either. So I hear you. I hear your pain. I feel your pain.
What part of the world are you in now, my man? The fans are curious.
I'm back home. I'm back in Ghana, which is where I'm originally from.
Yes.
And I spent a week in Accra. Accra is the capital. When I first got there, I was a little bit ill. So it sucked for the first couple of days because I was just in bed. But just being there was amazing, or is amazing. And so I was there for about a week. And then I decided to travel regionally because finding accommodation in Accra was a little bit tricky. So I decided, you know what, I want to travel regionally anyway. So why don't I do that first and then make my way back to Accra? So like maybe three days ago, I was in a place called Wuli, not like your Willie, but Wuli, which is spelled W-L-I.
Okay.
So I was there. I went to a two magnificent natural, I guess, I can't say monuments, but natural, maybe wonders, shall I say. The very first one was called the Agumacha waterfall, which is the highest waterfall in West Africa.
Wow.
So that was cool. Climbed that, and it was tough. It was the one of the
you climbed up.
Physical thing. Yeah, climbed up, man.
Man, you were really pushing yourself on this trip, bro.
I didn't mean to, not in this instance, but I've been working quite a lot. And I did not mean, because I wanted to capture it. I didn't know how to capture it without climbing it. So I had to climb it with the camera, and it was exhausting. I consider myself fairly fit, but man, this was brutal. My guide was 19 years old.
And he was just smashing it, wasn't it? He was smashing it like it was nobody's business. It was just like, whatever, this is every day for me. What are you talking about? Right?
Unbelievable.
Dude was
wearing flip-flops. He took me up, and it was so I was sweating. He's used to the heat, and I was just drenched. I've put the video online, so it's on YouTube right now. So I did that. And that took about 5 to 6 hours of trekking.
Oh man.
And so we went to the upper falls, and then we went to the lower falls. Getting to the upper falls, not many people make it up to the upper falls. Not everybody makes it to the upper falls.
Yeah, I wouldn't make it up.
So they take groups. And they take groups, and then sometimes they have to call like a third or fourth guide to come get the people who couldn't make it up to the top because man.
Just to help them navigate getting back down.
Correct.
But this is why people shouldn't do stuff unless they know they're capable of doing it. Like I know my limits, bro. I ain't climbing any waterfalls. No way in hell you're gonna catch me climbing a waterfall.
It was tough, man. And I don't think I am unfit, but that was tough.
Yeah, no, like if you struggled a little bit, that means I would have died like the first quarter of the way up. I would have been a literal dead body on the cliff, just freaking.
Most people go to the lower falls, which takes about half an hour, 45 minutes, but the upper falls takes about 5 to 6. And it was tough. And we went through Togo, I think illegally as well.
Oh man, for real?
We went through Togo, and then back into Ghana. So that was pretty cool. So we crossed the river. So
you kind of just crossed through, but like you didn't have there was no one to check like your passports or whatever. So you just kind of just crossed through. That's so cool, man. I love that.
I think the travel guide from Ghana, the travel company from Ghana have an agreement with Togo. So we can go in there and we don't spend much time there. We spent about an hour in Togo out of the trek and then came back. So the water originates from Togo. The water originates from Togo, but Ghana has both of the falls.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Lucky Ghana, man.
Togo,
that's great.
Right. And that's what the kid said. The 19-year-old kid, he said, Lucky Ghana. So you're spot on. The very next day, when I got to my accommodation that evening, I was man, as you can imagine, I was exhausted, physically and emotionally exhausted. The very next day, my dumb ass decided to do a different one, which was Mount Afajato, which is the highest mountain in Ghana.
And why? Why the next day? Like, why didn't you give yourself a 1 to 2 day gap, bro?
Because I was leaving the following day.
Oh, well, okay, then that's fine. Time pressures.
So I was like, you know what? I got to punish myself here and go for it. So I did that. And that was also a steep climb. So that was 45 minutes and that was steeper. But for 45 minutes, it was a hard climb. And then it's a shorter one. And then we came down and I was, again, spent. But all in all, Accra or Ghana itself is boiling hot. It's really, really hot. But beautiful. The people are so nice. Dude, it's refreshing.
Because you were talking very nicely on your video and then in your social media posts about your tour guide. He must have left a print on you, man.
Dude, that kid, ever. Here's the thing. So we're back to Willie. When I went to Willie from Accra and I caught a bus. I get there. So from Willie, from Accra I had to go to a place called Hohoi. And Hohoi is the biggest city because Willie's a smaller city. Buses don't generally go there. So from there, I got there like 11 p.m. There's no one in the town, very few people, and it's scary.
I can imagine.
Not that the place is scary, but the fact that you don't know anyone. So there's no one around. I'm trying to look for a taxi, can't find one. And then eventually I jumped on the back of a motorbike, which was a half an hour ride. I had my 2 bags. And then I was on the motorbike just shifting away. But I left my huge bag in Accra, in the accommodation in Accra. So I took 2 small bags. When I got there, the very next day I decided to do Mount Afajato, which is the Willie Falls. And as I'm starting to walk, the very next day, as I'm walking, this kid walks up to me. He doesn't have a shirt on. And he's like, hey, how are you? He's got this big smile on my face. And I told you, I don't trust people.
Of course.
And I need to kind of...
You're African, man. You can't be trusting, bro. When
I don't know anybody.
It's dead. That part of us died.
Why? What happened?
All of us. Well, that's going to be about 6 or 7 episodes of a podcast for us to go through, bro. Anyway, sorry, interrupted. Go ahead.
No, that's a good point. So this kid walks up to me and I'm very skeptical. He's got his cheeky smile on his face, no shirt on. And he's telling me how he's a tour guide. And in my head, I'm like, shut up, get out of here. You are not a tour guide. He's like, oh, listen, I'll take you to the Upper Falls and I can show you around. I said, listen, I'm going to go to the office and ask them if you're a tour guide because I can't just believe you.
Yeah,
and he just walked out of his house. So he showed me how to get there. I walked there and I got there and I said, hey, I'm looking for a guide to the Upper Falls. The lady quotes me the price. And then I say, oh, by the way, I walked past this 90-year-old kid who said he was a tour guide. His name's Ben. And then she goes, oh, yeah, Ben, he's a tour guide. He's one of our young ones. And I was like, what? Oh, he's actually a tour guide.
Wow.
And he goes, would you like Ben? I was like, sure. He was confident enough to walk up to me and ask.
Yeah.
So let's get Ben. Sure, let's get Ben. She picks up the phone, calls, and like Ben is like there, like a ninja. He's like standing right behind me. 2 seconds.
I love his style. Man.
He was already there. This time in full clothes. I was like, what the hell? How did that happen?
So he knew, man. He knew you were going to choose him.
He knew he wasn't lying.
Yep.
So it was
Smart
really cool.
Kid, man. I like this Ben. I see why you like him.
And then we started talking and he was the nicest, sweetest kid. And he was very confident. I teased him the whole way. He was laughing and we just had a great time. It was just he and I. And we had a magnificent time. And he was very thorough with the understanding of the place because he's from Willie. And he was able to explain, like, the Willie Falls is not called the Willie Falls. The visitors, such as myself, come there and we don't pronounce it by the right name. It's called the Agumacha Falls. But it's in Willie, but people just call it Willie. Agumacha means so it comes from the Ewe word. So he's from a tribe called the Ewe tribe.
Okay.
And Agumacha just means let me flow.
Nice. That's a beautiful name.
Yeah, man. The falls are called
how you do that,
which means let me flow.
You know how you do that set about Ghanaian naming Like how
Yes.
parents choose the chief used to name the, because from that perspective alone, I always thought Ghanaians were probably not great at naming people, naming things. But that name, dude, but that name is so deep. That's beautiful.
It's heavy.
Yeah, it
Agumacha,
is
let me
heavy.
flow. I thought that was really
Absolutely.
cool. So
Because
those
there's
were the kind of
so
things that
much
he
to
was
it, because the
telling me.
water is flowing from a different part, like it's flowing from Togo. So the water, it's almost like, it doesn't belong to us, but just let it flow through our city. I think that's really beautiful. There's so many level. Anyway, let me not nerd out here. Continue.
Well
Sorry.
said. No, well said.
Yeah.
Don't say anyway. Continue. That's well said, because that's exactly what I was thinking as well. And he was very patient with me because he could see that I was recording and documenting things, and I was taking pictures of him, taking pictures of me, taking pictures of the area, because I was documenting it. So we weren't just walking.
Yep.
And he was very patient with me, which he was such a cool kid.
Oh, that's so
and he was
great,
like,
man.
yeah, no problem. And he's the way, his character, you could tell that the kid's he's good human. I really wish him all the best. I wish the best for the kid, man. Yeah, he was
I
good.
hope so too, man.
And yeah. 19-year-old kid, and he just has a bright future. He's just a
That's
sweet kid.
awesome.
He's just a good person. So
Isn't it
anybody
great?
going to the Agumacha Falls, ask for Ben. He's a young man. He's awesome. Ask for Ben. I hope he hears this one day. I'm also going to send him the link of the video that I made. Thanks for reminding me, because I'm going to send it. I've got his WhatsApp number, so I'm going to send it to him. And if anybody wants his WhatsApp number, send us a message, and I'll be able to kind of pass it on to you, and you'll be helping out. So what happens is you get a guide, and then the money goes to the people, the company.
Full group, yeah.
If you like the guide, you give him a tip. I gave him a big tip. I give him a great tip. So
good on you, bro. That's how you do it.
To the point where he actually walked me back to my gate. I was like, no, I'm good. I said, don't worry about it. I'm okay. He said, no, walk. And we just got along. So he just wanted to walk me to, it was on his way. He just wanted to walk me right to my gate.
Isn't it an absolute pleasure to receive experiences like that?
Yes.
Where you have a tour company.
I was the one who was blessed.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly, man. Like there's so many run-ins you have with people in the service industry, and you're just like, man, rarely do you find people grateful for just being alive and grateful for whatever they're doing, as opposed to just being like, oh, I could be making more money, or I could be getting more tips. It's like, I'm grateful for this, and I'm grateful I get to be in my hometown. I get to climb a mountain. I've been climbing since I was a kid, or a waterfall since I was climbing since I was a kid. Like that's, some people have a good perspective on things, and so he was 19 and realizes that. That's so good.
He was on, it was so good. He was on school holidays. So he's in school, he's in college, but he was on holiday. So I happened to get him at the right time.
Perfect.
Otherwise, I would have got another guide. I don't think any other guide would have done it justice.
Yeah,
I met other travelers who also went there, and they said it was great. But for me, I think my experience was extra because of my guide.
Right. Makes such a big difference, man. So good.
Huge.
Tell us more.
Wherever I go,
so we went on from
wherever I go, I've made up my mind. Wherever I go, because I'm going to go to a cocoa farm where the chocolates. That's where chocolate comes from. The cocoa tree. So I'm going to go there and I'm going to document it, and that's what I'm doing. So wherever I go, I'm going to document the Ashanti people as well, which is where I'm from. How we make kente, and I think it's very important that I have a good guide. I've realized that now. A guide makes a huge difference. So I don't mind paying a little bit more, as in a tip, to get a good guide. Yep. So since I've been in Accra, going back to Accra. Accra was just, I tried walking to this area, the suburb that we used to live in when I was a kid, and I got lost. I totally got lost. Yeah.
No.
It's called Abekan La Paz, right? I thought that they're the same place, but apparently Abekan and La Paz are two different places. I went to Abekan, but apparently I needed to go to La Paz. So I walked for like 2 hours, and I got to Abekan. No, I lie, about 4 hours in the sun.
Oh my goodness.
I didn't want to catch a taxi or anything like that. I just wanted to experience it. So experience the streets. Okay. So I thought, let me do it this way. But I ended up going to Abekan. So the next time I get back to Accra, I'm going to do the La Paz bit. I'm actually going to walk it. And I'm going to do the video in 2 bits, where the first one, I actually went to the wrong place. And the second one continues to, now I know where I'm going. And I make it there. So that was cool. did that. I went to quite a few markets. Like there's a market called the Spice Market. I've forgotten which market it's called. I'll get back to you another day on what the market's called. Just spice everywhere. It's ridiculous. And just reminiscing and eating food. And went to a different market as well. I think Kantamanto Market is called Kantamanto Market.
Okay.
And I just had so many things that I had as a child that I've not had in 20 something years.
Oh, so good. So the things like your mom couldn't make for you, or only made on special occasions or whatever?
Or even that, like we just didn't have the ingredients back in Australia to make it.
Oh,
so
fair.
There's so many things, but that was cool. So yeah, so Accra's been amazing. I am going to travel regionally. So right now I'm in a place called Afienya, which is just outside Accra, maybe an hour or so, an hour and a half outside of Accra. And so I've come back. So Woolly is extremely far away. I've come closer to Accra again. I'm going to go up north to Kumasi in the east area, in the west area. And then I'm going to do a loop through a place called Takoradi, Cape Coast. And then I'll be in Accra. So hopefully by then I'll have a place to stay in Accra. But that's the most difficult thing that I'm finding is accommodation. And it's finding a room.
Why is it so complicated?
I don't know. And it's so expensive. Everything else is cheap.
For real?
Yeah.
Cheap,
everything
more
else
expensive
is cheap.
than here. More expensive than when you were in Kenya.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
What?
In terms, okay, so everything else is cheap. Accommodation I'm finding is very expensive.
Oh wow.
It's almost like you're in Australia.
Yeah, okay. All right.
So that's what that's
Australian standards of Airbnbs is expensive, man.
And that's ridiculous. So it's a bit difficult. Plus, I don't want to just be in an Airbnb. I'm looking for a place to stay where, let's say someone has a house, they got a spare room, I can go there. Because what's the point in just being in a hotel by myself?
True.
I want to experience being with other people while I'm here. So if it's for 6 months or so, there's no point in being by myself. So apart from that, it's been fantastic, and I hope
that's because you're not married with kids yet, bro. If I was doing this trip, every moment I could have alone, the best. Anyway, that's besides the point.
I need to take advantage of it.
You do, bro. Trust me, because you're probably gonna have a lot of kids. So
how have you been, my friend?
How's Kenya? Bro. I can't complain. Kenya's great, bro. Kenya's amazing. I mean, it's just, you've been here. You see, you felt the vibe. You see what it's like. It's different. And you've been you spent most of your time in centralized, or like right in the CBD. So there are so many cities that you might go to in Africa, in different countries, but you might not get that big city feel. Nairobi has that. Nairobi has a big city feel. I mean, maybe where I live is like a stone's throw, is like not so far, maybe an hour out from the city. But even the areas I'm in, it's always hustling and bustling, and it just makes you I think we've discussed this several times. It makes me want to get up and do something. Like, I could get caught in a loop of sleeping in Australia all the time, but here there's no way I can sleep in. If I sleep in and I feel like so lazy, I just got to get myself up, So that's been refreshing because it's made me so much more efficient as a human being. I say that's probably one of the things. And also I know that because the population is so big, I mean, it's double the population of Australia, and it's all clustered into, that's Kenya, and it's all clustered into this tiny country in comparison to the broadness we have in Australia, all the land we have in Australia. So the people here are so many, and so it's so, and in any day someone can take your job. If you flop one time, like if you start a business and you fail for like a few months, someone can come in and just take your business. And that's common in big cities, so it keeps me on my toes too. I'm always in a constant state of positive anxiety. I don't know if there's something that exists, if that's a real term, but I feel positive about that. It doesn't stress me out. So, but it's been great, bro. I can't complain. I'm more interested in Ghana. I mean, you've been here. I could talk about this all the time. You're still traveling. So now?
Yes.
Now, tell me about the waterfall experience. Like, what is it like being under it or around it, that heavy water flow.
It's
Is it freaky, or is it scary, or is it beautiful? Like what is it like?
it's all of the above. It's majestic. Just to see that the upper falls, I was not able to swim in it because otherwise we would stay there forever. And just the force of the falls was just too much.
Oh, wow.
And I thought, people do swim in it, but I thought to myself, you know what? Let's not have a drowning here. So
yeah, exactly.
I decided to, we went down to the lower falls where I swam there and spent a little bit more time there. It's just beautiful to see, man.
I can only imagine.
You sit back and I think as I get older, I start to marvel and appreciate all these beautiful natural wonders. So I look at it and I think, wow, like this is just flowing consistently all the time. Yeah. How? And it's so huge.
With that heavy water flow. It's like, I know that there are scientific reasons for it, but it's crazy when you see it, right? When you see it up front, like it's almost like you're in a
doesn't the water end?
Yeah, where does it end? It's just what's the end point? It just keeps going. Oh, that's great.
Like, how can the water keep flowing? What are you talking about?
Yeah, you're right. It's absolutely true. It's absolutely true.
Think of that.
Yeah. It's crazy.
The water that flows doesn't go back up, and it does that. No,
it just continuously streams through. You know what? Wild. That's gonna be something I research now. You've just now given me a reason to nerd out again. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I'll come back with that response to you. I promise.
Thank you, because I looked at it and I remember thinking this, but then I didn't have the time to research, and I'm gonna do my own research as well, because it's wild. Like,
fascinating. Man.
You can't. How does that work? How?
Yeah.
If you didn't do any research and you're like, okay, I'm gonna explain this. Good luck. Even when you read it afterwards, you still be like, okay, still 100%.
You'll still remain confused. It's like when you're in geography class and they're like, well, this is how the body works. But why? But why is the body working? And how?
And you just have to go. You just have to go.
God doesn't exist, and we evolved from monkeys. But how? How the fuck? How can you connect the pieces for me a little better? It's just how it works. I hate that response. Anyway, let's not get into my issues as a
past trauma.
Oh man, for real, too much.
Yeah, so
too much for us.
So it's been fantastic. It's been fantastic, and I look forward to telling you more about Ghana as I continue. So while I'm traveling regionally, I'm going to be capturing some really significant parts of Ghana and traditions of Ghana. So, like I said, making the kente. There's this thing called apeteshi. I'm going to maybe record how they make it and have someone explain it to me. It's an alcoholic drink.
Okay.
It's very bitter, but it's very popular here as well. So hopefully I can kind of capture that and edit it later on and kind of post it. So I'll do all of that. I won't be able to edit everything until I get back to Accra, and then I'll go from there. So I'm going to have a lot of work to do when I'm in Accra. Just recording itself is a lot of work. Like, it's going to keep me busy, which is good.
Yeah, for sure. And you know, the beauty of all this is, like, you're getting to document your home country. You're getting to document. Like, what I would do to be able to do that in Somalia, bro. I would do anything. Like, I would really do anything. I'm shit scared to go there without my parents. And I know a lot of people are gonna listen to this and be like, "Why, bro? Just go." It's like, no, it's not safe. You need people to help you navigate things. Yeah, so it's important.
And there are some very unsafe areas as well. There's a lot going on.
So even for you in Ghana, sometimes, like when you're traveling throughout, I mean, Ghana is not the safest city in the whole world. Neither is Nairobi when you're here. Neither, there are lots of cities you've traveled through that are unsafe, and you're doing just fine. So I know I could do the same, but it's still better to take, I think it's because I've got kids, and, I don't like to throw caution to the wind anymore. There's no reason to risk the loss of my life just for a good time,
I totally understand.
Man. But now
it's interesting.
Go ahead.
No, I think I was going to go on a different topic, but go on.
No, all good. That's fine. It's no problem.
It's very interesting, the amount of comments and chatter that we've had from a particular comment.
Yes,
a particular comment that
yes, sir.
we made on our podcast, not the last one, but the one before, our second episode back in Africa. So I made a comment. Well, it was when I was in Kenya.
You were given advice, so to speak.
I was given advice.
Yes.
To be careful about being around Kenyan women. I was like, well, what do you mean? I'm in Kenya. There's Kenyan women everywhere. Well, what kind of advice is that? That's like me jumping in water and you telling me not to get wet. What do you mean? Like, what are you talking about? How do I do this? I don't know how you expect me to do this. So,
oh no, that's funny.
Like, I've got Kenyan women all around me. So I had a Kenyan woman tell me that lots of them. I had a Kenyan woman tell me that Kenyan women are the Nigerian men of the world. And she said, literally, she looked at me and said, run, like stay away from him and run. And we posted this on social media and in my DMs and also in the comments, I had so many Kenyan women saying, oh my God, you woke up and chose violence today, didn't you? Someone like, we're going to have your head. And then others are just saying all these crazy things. And then there are some people who also didn't understand what that comment meant. Right. Because we didn't elaborate on it. And I thought that everybody would understand exactly what that meant, but apparently not everybody grasps what I was talking about. So and first of all, I was not the one who said this. I'm just repeating what someone else said, which is fine, but I'm going to take it on board.
Let's be clear, but you said it on the podcast. You put it out into the public.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
I'm glad.
Let's be clear.
And I'll do it again. First of all, Faz, if I go down, you're coming with me. That's all I'm saying.
You know because what have I got
I'm taking you with me because you're married to a Kenyan woman. So
that is
I'm
true.
Just grabbing you.
Yeah,
I know, right?
So now what you're doing is you're hedging your bets, bro. You're just making it easier for you to be able to just get away with murder. And then you're making it all fall on me now.
Excellent.
I should know better.
Happy
being
days
the person
for me.
who's married
I'm going to sleep at night just perfectly. I'm going to I'm going to sleep at night and you're just going to have a knife over you. This is for what Akwesi said. She was trying to warn me about Kenyan women. She was saying, listen, Kenyan women can be a little bit shifty, like Nigerian men. Be like Nigerian men because Nigerian men have been known, not all of them. Jeez. So just bear with me, folks. Nigeria, there's been a stereotype of Nigerian men being pretending to be princes.
Crafty,
like
crafty
a
people.
Crafty and scamming women of the hard-earned money. And the lady was kind of trying to tell me, listen, even in relationships, be careful with these Kenyan women because they're a bit shifty. So I thought that was funny. It was hilarious. I received quite a lot of DMs, but all of them have been very playful. So that's what she was trying to say. She was trying to say, listen, be careful of Kenyan women. I don't know if that's true. Actually, I do know a little bit.
You do know
about Kenyan. You know quite a lot about Kenyan women because you're married to one, but obviously she's not one of the shifty ones.
No.
And it's just interesting to hear
Thank fuck she's not one of the shitty ones.
Compare them to Nigerian men. I'm like, wow, that's heavy. That's heavy. She's really telling me to be careful. So she's like, listen, be very careful. So first of all, to end what I'm about to say right now, we're going to continue with this conversation. To summarize what I'm trying to say, I'd like to apologize for what I said, because the apology really needs to go to Nigerian men. I need to apologize to Nigerian men because they were the innocent bystanders in all of this.
That's right. They had nothing to do with this.
They just Landovi. Why if you want to have a go at Kenyan women, do that, but why are you bringing us into it?
So that man, poor Nigerian brothers. Oh, poor guys.
It happened. So I wasn't the one who brought up Kenyan women or Nigerian men, but I was the one who said it. So I will take full responsibility. I'm happy with that. So I'm very, very sorry to the Nigerian men.
I also apologize to the Nigerian men and the one particular Kenyan woman who lives in the same household as I do. And that's it. Outside of that, I apologize to no one.
To nobody. Outside of that, I would like to take this opportunity to apologize to absolutely nobody.
No one. I don't care. Okay, maybe it extends to my grandma too. Okay, but outside of that, bro, yes. I draw the line.
So what do you
draw the line?
So tell me, what do you think about that comment? Because you made some interesting points. And
so what you're trying to do is you're trying to tell me, find a way to drown yourself. Find a way to kill yourself right now, fast. That's what you're trying to do. Okay.
Yes.
I got you.
Well, I'm saying is I'm drowning and I need company.
I got you. That's what we're here for. That's why we do this podcast, so we can just drown together.
Would you just want to watch me drown by myself?
I think for a moment, I'd say for a good like 30 seconds or maybe 15 seconds, it might be entertaining just to see you flap around for a bit. But then after I'm a terrible friend, aren't I? Aren't I a terrible friend?
I like that. Interesting.
Yeah. But come on. There's a moment where someone looks, there's a moment where people look pathetic and it's hilarious until it gets to a place where it's dangerous.
Well, and you're like, oh shit, I better actually help him out.
Exactly. Oh, this dude is actually drowning.
Niggas actually drowning. Let me help him out.
We're gonna get in so much trouble for different reasons, bro. Not even Kenyan women. It's gonna be for different reasons now. I'm not gonna lie. There are some surprisingly after you mentioned that comment, because that's actually the
similarities.
The similarities. I was taken aback for a second. I was like, is that accurate? You know, and then I thought about it. I was like, yeah, because I mean, just straight out the gate, for example, my third day here, we went to a local bar, and I was hit on by like wearing this and everything, making it very obvious. I was hit on by 3 different Kenyan women, and 3 different Kenyan women asked me, "Are you like do you want to do something?" I was like, "No, look, I'm married." And all 3 of them, like 3 of them, they were just like, "Okay, so does it matter to you?" What kind of question is that? What kind of question? That's a Nigerian man question right there.
Wow, this is a true story. You told me about this. I remember you telling me about this. This is a true story.
Third day,
Kenyan women, are you listening to this? Did you hear this? So it's not me.
No, this is real talk. People. Y'all can be some dodgy ass. Y'all can be some dodgy ass.
We'll talk.
Look, there are some interesting points. Okay, so I must say that when I started writing a list, I couldn't stop myself. I think the list, I almost got to like 30 different points.
The list writes itself.
Exactly. So we're gonna have to keep it short. We'll share some this episode and just keep the people waiting because we've got some more gems to share next episode. All right. Sure. I'm gonna start with 2, which I think you're actually agree with, because you've probably been around Kenyans and you've seen Kenyans in Australia too. Kenyan women are obsessed with original fashion labels. And so meaning if there's like a Louis Vuitton bag or like a Gucci jacket, they're obsessed with owning those items. And they can spot a fake from a mile away. That's also a typical trait from a Nigerian man. Because Nigerian men can tell you, like they can look at your drip and be like, nah, nigga, that ain't Versace. I know what Versace is. I shop there all the time. Or I steal from people to shop there all the time. So oh no. Jesus Christ. So that's one that I thought, yeah, that kind of nails it. And they also spend a lot of money and time on making sure they look good. Like I've never, you've seen them. You've been through the street. Even the women who are selling eggs on the street or whatever, they're always dressed to the nine. They always dress so well most of the time, right? They always put together. Even when they have nothing, they figure out a way to clean themselves up, right? And that's purely looks like. Go ahead.
I'm gonna add a little point to what you just said, and then people are gonna think that I'm gonna be sucking up right now, and it's got nothing to do that. I don't care about sucking up to anybody. These are just facts. I've traveled to I think 13 cities in a short time frame. So I've been able to kind of compare quite a few things, and not unintentionally, but Kenyan women. And listen, I know I've been shitting on you guys and that's whatever, but I'm not trying to suck up to anybody. This is just facts. And I told Faz this a couple of months ago when I was in Kenya. Kenyan women are easily the prettiest women I have seen, alongside Ghanaians.
That's a beautiful compliment.
It's wild. And that's just the truth. It doesn't mean that you're still not a Nigerian
Kenyan
man
ladies,
of the world.
He's sucking up. Roger, check that. He's sucking up right now.
I love to be sucking. No. Kenyan women are still sucking on them titties. Man. No, Faz, no. Kenyan women are still the Nigerian men of the world, which is fine. But I'm just saying, in terms of looks, I've been to a lot of different places. I'm like, God damn, like these women are fine. And I've already told you this. Yeah. Very attractive, not pretty attractive, very attractive. Yeah. And I've already told you this, and I know what did we do? We kind of prefaced it, but I like women, and I'm not going to preface it. I like women and with like the natural hair, the short.
Of course you do.
Kenyan women have a lot of Kenyan women have that short hair, and it suits them so well, and it just brings out the beautiful face. It doesn't cover anything, and to me, that I'm like, oof, that's fine. That's sexy. That's sexy to me. Anyway, enough of the sucking up to Kenyan women, whatever Kenyan woman.
It stops now.
Whatever.
It stops now.
That's it. That's all you're getting.
So, I think we both agree that they do put a lot of effort into looking good, right? Especially the ones you see around bars, restaurants, and places like that. They're always looking nice. They have to look nice, and they always have to wear the latest fashions, the latest designer stuff. That's very Nigerian, right? And I would say they're really capable of like using the terminology I used was sweet words, so they can spend hours just texting you and telling you all sorts of things. You know how Nigerian guys are real slick, like real slick. They're slick as hell. They can get into anyone's panties, dude. Anyone's. It doesn't matter. Even men's underwear they can get into if they need to. They got it. They got the gift of the gab.
The slickness.
Kenyan women are exactly the same.
And that's why. And that's a big reason I don't trust them. I'm like, these ladies, you're very slick.
You gotta look out for this one.
You look so good, but you're slick.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you in terms of I'm married to a Kenyan, so it's obvious that I think Kenyan women are some of the most attractive human beings in the whole world. Easy. Yes. So, but that's just that aside. Let's not
that aside. And in the next episode, I'm going to tell you about Ghanaian women, and my goodness, like the booties on Ghanaian women, is out of this world. And Ghanaian women are very, very pretty, very pretty. And like I said, I'm not being biased here, but I'm putting them on par with Kenyan women, maybe just on par. But in terms of booties, my goodness.
So everyone has a booty. Here, did it surprise you that Kenyan women had booties here?
They do, but you can't compare it to like Ghanaians.
Go ahead, keep going.
It's out of control. It's out of control. I've been to South Africa, I've been to Ethiopia, I've been to Jamaica, I've been to Colombia, Ghanaian women, god damn. Anyway, we will leave that and we'll continue that in another episode. Please continue Kenyan women.
Absolutely, no problem. So look, I don't want to like really, trash them too much, but going on from the last point, that they're good with their words, they can really spin a tale.
This is not trashing them though. This is is not trashing them. There's a lot of positive. Being slick is a good thing. I mean,
agreed.
It's a smart thing.
Agreed.
But, okay, maybe the only thing is maybe if we said they were dishonest, but we've not said that. We've just said
no.
You do things to make sure it works your way.
I totally agree with you. And this is the same, I think, as another point we made it in another podcast. It's like saying they're opportunistic. They're not like evil, but they're opportunistic. No. And there's nothing wrong with being opportunistic. That's a good human trait. It means you're ready to pounce whenever. Exactly. Ready to pounce whenever the next opportunity comes up. So I think that's a also a positive compliment. You're totally right. It's a compliment. This is also, I'm gonna let me like add to the last point and say that they're very good storytellers. And as a Somali, and as a Somali, like oratory culture, we love yarning, making, what do you call it? Yarning and telling people tales and stories. Kenyans are so good at that. So particularly Kenyan women, they are incredibly good at telling stories. Like whether it's true or false, whether it's like true or false,
whether it's true or false, exactly,
doesn't matter. They'll nail it. They'll have you cackling. I literally cackle.
As they say, never let the truth get in the way of good story.
Absolutely. I love that. I'm going to use that all the time now because I truly believe in that. And that's why I, even when my wife is watching like Kenyan female podcasters or like watching their vlogs on YouTube, I'm hooked, bro. I'm so interested in what they're saying. Like I just can't. Yeah.
You're like, I know you're lying, but wow, tell me more.
They'll be sitting up there talking some trash about, oh, I hooked up with this Somali guy and he's, he doesn't know how to dance, some bullshit. But the way they tell you that story,
he had a giant hog,
something
whatever.
like that. Something like, because that's a lie too. We ain't West African, so.
You're supposed to say that's true.
Nah, man. I'm okay. I'm okay with admitting that. It's okay. We were gifted with something else: brains and good looks. You guys were gifted with penises, and that's cool.
Oh shit!
Now I'm hating on my Ghanaian brothers and sisters. That's not what I wanted to do. But no matter whether the story is true or false, particularly their storytelling is even better if it's false. It's even better, just like Nigerians. When I sit around, like we mostly hung out with Nigerians in Australia, you and I. How much fun is it when you're in a room full of Nigerian brothers? You just can't stop. You just can't stop laughing. Every moment is something that you want to hold on to. And it's the same with Kenyan women, but they can use that against you. That's the problem. Mm-hmm. So let's not go too far there, because there's probably a lot more to talk about with that particular point. But I'm telling you, when it comes to words, they're wordsmiths in every capacity. And to continue with that point, they're extremely slick, bro. They're wily, they're cunning, they're tricky. When it comes to business, it's a huge problem. Before you know it, they'll have you signing contracts, supporting their business. You'll be signing up to a pyramid scheme, joining their church. And I'm Muslim. I almost joined up to 100 churches. They're convincing me of their. So things like that, really make me think Kenyan women are just like Nigerians, because all my worst decisions I have ever made, I'm telling you, there's always been a Nigerian dude involved. Every single one. Every single one, of course.
Oh my goodness. Too funny.
For real, dude. But what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah,
How do you feel? How do you feel about my feedback so far?
Your feedback is spot on. Now, I don't have as much experience and time with Kenyan women as you do. Sure. I did a little bit back in Australia, and look, that kind of fell through, shall I say? Okay. All right. So that fell through. Oh, yeah, it fell through, which was actually very disappointing, my friend. I've not told you about this. It was very disappointing in the way it fell through, because I was like, oh, I like this girl, But it is what it is. And I always believe in the fact that if someone likes you, especially women, I find that women are unreasonable when they like a dude. They just want the dude, right? And it's a cool thing. It's a beautiful, sexy thing.
It was good.
I find that's like, she's like focused on the person. But when they lose focus, they lose focus. And I was kind of, before I left, there was this, and then later on the person kind of dwindled away, which again, I was like, oh, damn, disappointing. But it is what it is. And you move on. So I don't have as much experience with Kenyan women, but you do. And from the little that I have kind of seen, very charming, very beautiful, and I'm always like, okay, I'm watching you. But
the minute she probably saw one of your receipts at an ATM, she was just like, this nigga ain't got money. And she was just like, I'm done.
Probably. Well, that's a fact. This nigga ain't got money at this point in time.
Oh man, that's so great.
But it's ladies, though, the Kenyan women anyway, take it as a compliment, or you can take it as a negative. Kenyan women are the Nigerian men of the world, and that's how we're going to kind of end this podcast. But
we have so many more points to make next podcast. You got to tune in next podcast. We've only gone through like 4 points, and I have at least 20. So we're going to start the podcast with this topic, and then we're going to end the podcast with something else next week. Beautiful.
You know what? I think we might even have the next podcast. We might even talk about relationships and what men have to do to kind of keep relationships, and what women have to do to keep relationships. And they both take work. So
absolutely,
I think we should talk about it next episode as well. So
agreed. And those two things go perfect together.
I think so too. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So let's do that.
Awesome, my man.
Folks, tune in for the next episode. Always good to talk to you.
Always good to share our thoughts with the humans out there. So thank you for the listeners, and thank you for the people who've been commenting on our videos. We really hope we pissed you off again today. We really do. We were trying to piss you off today.
I really hope so. That's brilliant. That's a great way to end the podcast. Man. I really hope I got to you this time. Yeah. I hope you cried.
Yeah, absolutely. Post a picture of you crying. It'll actually make me enjoy this process better. And we know the path is righteous, because if you're crying, then it means it's real. If you want to debate with us, then it means you want to argue with us, because you don't believe that these things are true. But if you're crying, then you know the kind of person you are, Kenyan ladies. So
that's what I'm talking about. So all the women that were kind of sending messages and that were like, hey, wait a minute, how dare you? We want your head on a plate and blah, blah, blah. Well, if it wasn't true, you would not be upset, would you?
Absolutely. I'm going to Kwabi lame this. Yep, absolutely, dude. What he just said.
We've obviously hit a sore point.
And that's a good thing, bro. That means we're doing something right. You know, absolutely. At the end of the day. I am Akwesi on Instagram.
Yes, and also YouTube is the same name.
YouTube page, I am Akwesi. Check us out on all our stuff on YourMate. We're on YouTube too. We're on TikTok, Instagram. All you got to look up is YourMate Podcast. That's pretty much the name consistently. Well. Facebook, Twitter, although we're not on Twitter much. Now that Elon Musk owns Twitter, I'm not sure if I want to be on there anymore. That's another topic that we'll talk about a couple of weeks down the line too. But too much to talk about with my boy. I always enjoy this experience, dude. So God bless you.
Always a pleasure. Never a chore.
Absolutely. Stay blessed and stay awesome, my man.
Peace.